Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the latest and most important stories from across Canada. It's a busy day in the news, so let's jump right in. Our top story today is a major development out of Ottawa. The federal government has just announced a new multi-billion-dollar framework aimed at tackling the rising cost of living. The plan, unveiled this morning by the finance minister, includes several key components. First, there's a one-time boost to the GST tax credit, which is expected to provide relief to millions of low- and middle-income families. Second, the government is proposing a temporary doubling of the Canada Housing Benefit, designed to help renters who are struggling with skyrocketing prices in major cities. The announcement has already sparked a heated debate on Parliament Hill. Opposition leaders are criticizing the plan, arguing it's a short-term fix that doesn't address the root causes of inflation. They're calling for broader tax cuts and a reduction in federal spending. Economists are also weighing in, with some expressing concern that injecting more money into the economy could inadvertently fuel further inflation, while others believe that targeted relief is necessary to prevent more Canadians from falling into poverty. We'll be watching closely as this bill makes its way through the House of Commons in the coming weeks. Shifting gears to the West Coast, British Columbia is once again on high alert as wildfire season intensifies. Several new out-of-control fires have started in the interior of the province following a series of lightning strikes over the weekend. Evacuation orders have been issued for a number of small communities, and highways in the region are facing intermittent closures. Officials from the BC Wildfire Service held a press conference earlier today, stating that current conditions are extremely dry and volatile. They are pleading with the public to be extra cautious and to respect all fire bans currently in place. Hundreds of firefighters, including crews from other provinces and even some international partners, are on the front lines battling the blazes. Air tankers and helicopters are providing crucial support, but the challenging terrain and unpredictable winds are making their efforts difficult. Residents in affected areas are being urged to have an emergency kit ready and to stay tuned to local authorities for the latest updates. This is a stark reminder of the growing impact of climate change on our natural landscapes and the brave individuals who work tirelessly to protect our communities. Now let's head east to Toronto, where the city is grappling with significant disruptions to its public transit system. A major technical failure has caused a widespread shutdown of a key subway line, impacting the daily commute for hundreds of thousands of people. The Transit Commission has described the issue as a complex signal system failure and says crews have been working around the clock to resolve it. However, there's currently no firm timeline for when full service will be restored. In the meantime, shuttle buses are in operation, but they're struggling to cope with the massive volume of passengers, leading to long lines and frustrated commuters. The incident has reignited the conversation about the city's aging transit infrastructure and the need for sustained investment. The mayor has promised a full investigation into the cause of the failure and has acknowledged the immense frustration of riders. For anyone in the Greater Toronto Area, it's a good idea to check for service updates before you head out the door and to consider alternative routes if possible. In business news, a major Canadian telecommunications giant has announced a significant corporate restructuring. The company plans to split its media and telecom divisions into two separate publicly traded entities. The AI was trained on a massive dataset of thousands of anonymized patient scans and has shown remarkable success in identifying tiny, early-stage tumors that are often missed. The lead researcher emphasized that this technology is not meant to replace doctors, but rather to act as a powerful tool to assist them, improving efficiency and catching diseases earlier when they are most treatable. The study, published in a prestigious medical journal, is being hailed as a major step forward in personalized medicine. The next phase will involve clinical trials in hospitals across Quebec to test the AI's effectiveness in a real-world setting. It's an exciting example of how Canadian innovation is making a real difference in healthcare. Now for an update on the housing market. New data released today by the Canadian Real Estate Association shows that the national average home price saw a slight dip last month, continuing a trend of cooling that we've seen over the past quarter. However, the picture varies dramatically from region to region. While major markets like Vancouver and Toronto are experiencing price moderation, some smaller cities in the Atlantic provinces and the prairies are still seeing prices climb, driven by an influx of people from other parts of the country. Higher interest rates are being credited as the primary factor behind the national slowdown, as borrowing has become more expensive for potential buyers. Real estate experts suggest that we are shifting towards a more balanced market, where buyers have more negotiating power than they've had in years. However, affordability remains a massive challenge for many, especially first-time homebuyers. The report highlights that despite the recent price drops, the national average is still significantly higher than it was before the pandemic. Let's turn to an environmental story out of Atlantic Canada. A coalition of environmental groups is celebrating a court victory today in their fight to protect a sensitive marine ecosystem off the coast of Nova Scotia. A federal court judge has ruled against a proposal for offshore oil and gas exploration in a region that is a critical habitat for several endangered whale species and unique deep-sea corals. The judge found that the environmental assessment conducted for the project was flawed and did not adequately consider the potential for irreversible harm to the marine environment. The energy company behind the proposal has not yet commented on whether it will appeal the decision. This ruling is being seen as a landmark case that could set a precedent for how future offshore development projects are evaluated in Canada. Activists are calling it a huge win for marine conservation and for the coastal communities whose livelihoods depend on a healthy ocean. The city is buzzing with energy, with fans decked out in orange and blue. The team is looking to bounce back after a tough loss on the road and tie up the series on home ice. The response was overwhelming. In just a few days, they raised tens of thousands of dollars and collected more donations of furniture and household goods than the family could possibly use. The family said they are speechless and incredibly grateful for the outpouring of support, calling it a testament to the kindness and generosity of their community. It's a beautiful reminder of how people can come together to support one another in times of crisis. That's all the time we have for today's News Roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. We work hard to bring you these updates, so if you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel so you don't miss our next report. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on these stories, so please leave a comment down below. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.